102.5 on Facebook, YouTube, and all our radio terrestrial. Okay, so Abdirashid, how are you doing, sir, today?
I am fine. I feel good.
Yeah,
great day.
Okay, good. Okay, so first things, we're going to bring on Gurpreet, who, so again, just telling the listeners out there, we're going to be talking to Loros. It's a Loros takeover. Let's talk, opening the conversation about end of life on EAVA FM 102.5. So we're going to welcome Gurpreet into the mix here. How you doing, Gurpreet? We can't hear you. We cannot hear you. Hello? One second, we're just having some technical. Abdirashid, do you want to carry on talking to Gurpreet or carry on talking about what we're going to be talking about today?
And we will. I will, and we will be translating. We will be translating whatever Gurpreet will say, and we will give the information in Swahili and Somali also.
You can maybe talk to the listeners in Swahili.
And wazungumzaji wa Kiswahili, karibuni kwa EAVA FM. Leo tuna interview na moja kutoka Loros, and the same way I will tell the Somali listeners waxaana la jooga qof ka timid Loros ka timid oo ka hadli doonta la tacaalka dadka xanuunsan. And we'll explain, we'll translate, interpret what we will be asking the questions, then interpret the answer.
Okay, Gurpreet, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Now we can hear you. Perfect. Okay, nice. Thank you for joining us, Gurpreet.
Thank you. I just want to say thank you for doing this week-long program for us. I can hear my echo. All the best to Abdi for his first show, Jumbo. And everybody who's listening.
Okay.
So so first of all, I'm going to talk in English and Abdi's going to translate to the people inside Swahili and a little bit in Somali to the East African people there. Remember, we can share the video. We'll be sharing this video to a lot of people. So it's about really getting the message out there. So first of all, can you tell us a little bit about the study in itself that you're doing with Loros with end of life?
Yes, this study has been going on for last about 3 years or so. A number of people, over 100 people have been interviewed. Their views have been... can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you perfectly fine. Carry on.
Okay, so a lot of people have been interviewed in depth, in focus groups, just trying to get ideas about their views and how Loros can support them. As you know, in a lot of Asian cultures, the word death is very difficult to talk about. So we are trying to find ways, look at the terminology and get people's views, how we can support them.
Okay.
Okay. And well, let me interpret that. And waxay tiri Gabi and Loros waxaan ka shaqeynaa la tacaalka dadka xanuunsan, waa hawl aan waqti dheer soo wadnay, waxaan la kulannay boqolaal dad oo xanuunsan oo dad macnaha dhaqaatir dadka markay xanuunsan yihiin oo xanuunkooda uu gaaro meel laga baqaya looga cabsado inay geeri inay dhintaan looga cabsada khidmada ama adeega ay u fulin karin dadka guriga ayaan u fulinaa. Marka arrimahaas waxay tiri dadka aan ka wareysanay oo aan su'aalo ka weydiinay, jawaabihii iyo wixii bay halkan kaga hadli doontaa.
Okay, that was brilliant. I don't know what you said, Abdi, but yes, I'm sure you've told the listeners. We're going to carry on with this project. So how is the study going, Gurpreet? And tell me what you've actually done. Tell us what you've actually done with the study.
Right. Like I said, it's been going on for some time now. So the main aim was to actually get into the community and get people's views. And it's, the aim is to improve their experience towards the end of life. So we've been working with community members, group, doctors, nurses, so that we are able to support family members and actually help understand what community or individuals might want towards their end of life, so that they don't feel alone, and make decisions that are informed and they understand the whole process.
Okay, Abdi.
Shaqada ay ka shaqaysa Loros waxaa waaye in dadka xanuunsan aan guryahooda lagula tacaali karin la tacaasho ay una sahasho inay helaan khidmo caafimaad ama adeeg caafimaad. waxaa intaa la xiriira xibin kale oo ah dadkan waxay ka imaadeen macnaha sida annaga hadda muslimiinta markaan nahay waxaan jecelnahay qofku markuu dhimanaya caado iyo dhaqan u leenahay in si gaar ah loola dhaqdo, in la yaasiimo, in la kor joogo. tii iyagoo fiirinayaan waxay isku dayayaan inay la tacaalaan qofkiina maaragtay ay u raaxeeyaan inta usoo hartay noloshiisa. u raaxeeyaan waxaan ka wadaa inay la tacaalaan oo xanuunka ka yareeyaan.
So yes, Abdi, this is very, very good, interesting, and we've got people that's tuned in. Remember, people, if you really want to tell us any chats or comments, please do in the comment section. Do you want to tell the people that as well? They can comment on the YouTube section.
waxaad ka daawan kartaan programka wuxuu ku jira YouTube. haddaad YouTube nagala socota ama meel kasta oo bar kasta oo kale oo social media ah, in aad arrinkan ka qayb qaadato oo aad fakarkaaga ama ra'yigaaga ka dhibato.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so people, so Gabri, tell us a little bit about who's involved in doing this project and how it's kind of involved with lots of different people. You know,
so we've got a lot of faith communities and community leaders on board. Anywhere, any community activists who are able to help, so that we can actually get into the community and talk to those individuals. And people have been very generous. They have actually allowed us to talk to them, go to their homes and interview them. So the broader the knowledge that we have, the better it would be to shape the services provided by Loros, as well as other national health services. All the providers, we will be making plans to train individuals as well as healthcare professionals. So we want the community to come on board, so that we can understand what's important to them towards when they reach end of life, and how we can support them and their family members.
waxaan ka qayb gelinay programka, waxaan ka qayb gelinay ama qorshahan ama miliku fulkan waxaan ka qayb gelinay dad badan oo kamid ah dad ka shaqeeya adeega caafimaadka ka shaqeeya oo dhakhaatiir iyo kalkaaliye caafimaad iyo leh, iyo dad odayaasha maaragtay odayaal dhaqameedka ama dadka dhaqamada kala duwan communityda meesha degan ka soo jeeda ayaan ka qayb gelinay oo aan ra'yigooda aruurinay, welina aruurin haynaa si ay uga qayb galaan, oo aan innaga oo fahansan dadka sida ay wax u rabaan annagoo fahansan si aan hawshan u fulino.
Okay. So Abdi, what are your thoughts in this? Have you first time you've been involved in anything like this, or the topic? Is it we want to talk about this topic in terms of end of life within our communities and how it affects us?
Yeah. My question for remind me our guest.
Yeah, Gapri.
And my question for you is, how is it different from care, like
in care home?
Yeah, care home. How is this program different from in care home?
Well,
yeah,
go on. Okay, finish off.
It's very different from care home, because when people come to Loros, it's end of life. So they have a condition when there is no cure. We can only symptom manage, and we can make them feel comfortable, but we can't extend their life. So people, when they come to Loros, they know that it's very close to their end of life. So the family is also aware of that. So we would want them to feel at peace with themselves and the family. So if there are anything spiritually, religiously, culturally that they might want to do, so that they reach that point where they feel at peace with themselves, we would make sure that we provide that to them. But we wouldn't know about everybody, and everybody as an individual, they will have their own views and their point of view and thinking how they would like to say goodbye to their family, friends. So we want to make it in a very dignified way and treat them with respect. We want to listen to them and work with them so that there is nothing that we do that won't be acceptable to them during that time. I mean, that time is so difficult as it is, so we want to be there for them.
And thank you. And
Sorry, just coming back to care home.
Yeah.
Care homes, sometimes people go to care homes where they may get slightly older, or they might have some care needs where you might need somebody to look after them for some people like 24 hours or maybe whole day, or in the evening, maybe somebody needs to be there. And as you know, in this country, people are working. Pretty much most families have full-time work and they have children and other things. So they can't give that care to their loved ones. So they choose for their, family member to go in a care home where they will be looked after. They can visit them as often they as like. There is no end of life, point where they have to leave them in a care home. But in care home, people do obviously die and they reach end of life. But Loros, they only come where they have a condition and there is no cure for it.
marka haddii siday noogu sharxday su-aashan gabadha weydiiyey iyo siday noogu sharxday aan fiirina waxaa waaye qof gaaray ama la dareensan yahay inuu gaaray gabagabada noloshiisa oo xanuun aad ah oo inuu u dhimanayo loo malaynayo qaba meesha waa la mashquulsan yahay cidda qof uu ka dhimanayo inta badan waxaa waaye dhib bay ku tahay inay adeega caafimaadka uu qofku u baahnaa xanuunka in laga yareeyadu u baahnaa inay gelin baa dhici karta marka tan waxay ka caawinaysaa qofka noocaas oo kale ah ayaa waxaa laga caawinayaa arrintaas maalmaha u dambeeya oo qofka nool yahay in nolol ixtiraam leh oo uu lagu soo booqan kara meesha loogu tegi kara isna uu heli kara adeeg ama khidmad caafimaad uu heli kara ayay tiri gabadha. Thank you.
Okay. So this is really interesting talking here to you, Gayatri, and also Abdi is so interesting to talk to you about this as well, because you're learning about the different services and it's really helping the communities to understand what is out there and what services are available to them. I think it's very, very important. Okay, I'm going to be moving on to the next question. How have people responded to being asked to take part in this research? Are there any communities that you didn't manage to talk with, Gayatri?
Yeah, I mean, we have been really fortunate to have a lot of people on board, but there are some communities like the Somali community, Bangladeshi community, and Jewish community who we need to do more work with. So anybody who's listening from those communities, we would like to know if there are any community groups or any individuals, community leaders, spokespeople from those communities, so that we can get an idea how we can provide a service according to their needs. We are very grateful to all those people who have come forward, but there is still, as you know, there are so many communities in Leicester, so we want to make sure that we tailor-make our services that are appropriate and they address the needs of everybody living here.
adeegan dad badan baan ka qayb gelinay oo ka qayb qaatay dadka ilaa hadda aan isleenahay kamay soo qayb qaadanin ama aan weli u baahannahay inay ka soo qayb qaataan waxaa ka mid a Soomaalida, Yuhuudda iyo Bengali ayaa ka mid ah. Marka waxay leedahay dadkaas ayaan jeclaan lahayn inaan ka helno dad naga warsiiya sida ay u baahan yihiin in khidmadan loogu tolo ama lagu girgirtolo oo ah in si ay iyaga ay markay qofkooda u xanuunsada ama uu nolosha meesha ugu dambeysay gaara si khidmadan looga caawin kara inay iyagaas warkaana siiyaan iyo wuxuu qofka u baahan kara.
Okay. Yes. So I imagine it's a very sensitive subject to be talking about and also to tackle. How has Loros been doing this in terms of talking to communities about this sensitive subject? Also, I want to ask Abdirashid this as well. I come from so let's talk to Abdirashid. I come from a South Asian background, so a very Hindu, West Indian, so I'm Gujarati.
Okay.
I'm Hindu, and sometimes we don't talk about these subjects, end of life.
Yeah.
We don't talk about this, not because there's a stigma within the religion. It's because we just, as a culture, we don't really speak about this. I'm very fortunate to have family that have spoken about this. We speak about this on a regular, well, not on a regular, but we speak to our family members about end of life. And because my family is very open, and in terms of even with Hinduism, it's very open to talk about this. I'm sure within a lot of the African religions and faith groups, it's very open as well. But us as a culture, we put a cultural stigma around this. How is this within, do you feel that this is in African communities as well, East African predominantly?
And I think the need for it.
Yes.
The need, everything, things, necessity is what dictates how we behave or how culture is formed.
Yeah.
Normally, and we used to have a very strong community sense that when somebody is dying, he will be no longer the problem for only one family. It will be the whole brotherhood or a clan
or the community. Yes, absolutely.
But here, I understand people feel the pressure.
Yes,
and this is, I think, a way out for them.
Okay.
The way I feel, because here you see how busy people are. Sometimes dealing with normal kids who are healthy is even difficult. So imagine if you have your parent or your relative sick with you in the house, and there is no way you can help them, and maybe they have terminal diseases, something like that. I think this is a way out, and people should be informed about.
Yeah, but also I want to be clear in that and saying this is not a way of passing the book on, and saying, right, you know what, it's absolutely not a way of saying that, because I know in my culture, coming from a South Asian background, so we're talking about all South Asian communities, and I know this working very closely with the East African communities. Yeah. We want to look after our loved ones that are in end of life. We want to take the responsibility. We want to look after them in our own capacity, in our own homes, and we don't want to send them away. But however, sometimes there's situations where our personal capacity is taken over. When somebody has a very terminal illness, sometimes we cannot look after them. So we need that support around us. Does that make sense, Abdi?
Yeah, a lot of it. The cultural aspect of this is when a Muslim is dying, another Muslim should be there.
Yes.
There is recitals that he will be reminded before he goes. Whenever you realize the person is going now, he's dying, the last minutes, you remind him about the faith and stuff like that. Then some recital is done. Quran is chanted. Some verses from the Quran is read on the person. So if this service or this program can give that, you have seen the condition in UK, even the way houses are. And it's not a very beautiful, let me say this, it's not a very comfortable place to die. So if that is made a bit comfortable, in a space where people can visit. The whole thing, I think, the whole issue is if
you know what, we are going to go in a commercial break in literally 30 seconds. So we will come back after that. But I just want you to finish up in your sentence because the advert will come on 30 seconds and you can translate this in Somali to the community.
Okay. The whole thing is,
go on, carry on.
If that kind of service is given, where the person he is dying, but there will be a religious person next to him, I think people will accept this.
Absolutely. So we're going to come back straight after the commercials, and we're going to be Abdirashid will be translating everything inside Somali, and we'll be carrying our conversation with End of Life Talk in EAVA FM 102.5.
EAVA, sharing the richness of cultures. This is EAVA FM.
Grill Shack, Leicester's finest jerk chicken specialist, giving you that carnival taste all year round. Jerk chicken, rice and peas, coleslaw and fried dumplings. Yummy. Come and check us out in the heart of the city, 167 Belgrave Gate, Leicester, LE1 3HS. Try our boneless jerk range in a wrap, gourmet burger, pita or strips. What we do in our jerk range, we also do in peri-peri. Online delivery via Just Eat, Deliveroo, I'll Get It and Zoom. For collection and orders, call us on 0116 262 2885. That's 0116 262 2885. Grill Shack, the authentic taste that brings a smile to your face every time.
Serving the community 24 hours a day. EAVA FM.
हर साल 4 वयस्कों में से एक मानसिक रूप से अस्वस्थ होता है। हम लेस्टरशायर और रटलैंड में वयस्कों के लिए मानसिक स्वास्थ्य सेवाओं में निवेश और सुधार करना चाहते हैं, ताकि लोगों की व्यक्तिगत जरूरतों का समर्थन करने के लिए स्वास्थ्य सेवाओं के साथ मिलकर काम करना आसान हो सके। चाहे आप अभी या भविष्य में इन सेवाओं का उपयोग करें। परामर्श में अपने विचार साझा करके हमें बताएं कि आपके और आपके परिवार के लिए सबसे महत्वपूर्ण क्या है। www.greatmentalhealthllr.nhs.uk पर जाकर एक सर्वेक्षण पूरा करें या 0116-295-0750 पर कॉल करें और हम सब मिलकर बदलाव कर सकते हैं। आज ही ग्रेट मेंटल हेल्थ की ओर कदम बढ़ाएं।
EAVA FM.
1 in 4 adults are unwell with their mental health each year. We want to invest in and improve mental health services for adults in Leicester, Leicestershire and Rutland to make care easy to access, with health services working together to support people's individual needs. Whether you use services now or may in the future, tell us what matters most to you and your family by sharing your views in a consultation. Complete a survey at www.greatmentalhealthllr.nhs.uk or call 0116 295 0750. And together we can make the change. Step up to great mental health today.
This is EAVA FM.
Everyone can now get free rapid COVID-19 tests twice a week. They show your results within 30 minutes. They also show you're doing what you can to protect your loved ones, your friends, your workmates, and that you want to keep life moving again. Around 1 in 3 people who have COVID-19 have no symptoms and are spreading it without knowing. That could be a friend, a relative, a workmate. It could even be you. Rapid tests are easy to get from nhs.uk/get tested. Let's take this next step safely.
EAVA FM is a multilingual radio station serving the diverse communities of Leicester on 102.5 FM. For advertising and sponsorship, email sales@eavafm.com or call 07811 659 364. That's 07811 659 364. Serving the community, 102.5 EAVA FM.
Hey everyone, so we are back after the commercial breaks. This is EAVA FM. I know Gurpreet wants to say a few more words before Abdi starts the translation here.
Yes, I just wanted to say that, like you said, Vij, that South Asian communities and a lot of other cultures as well, family is so important. Parents sort of think about their children as their investment. They put all their love, energy, everything into them, and they expect them to fulfill their wishes and so on. So if you don't know what your loved one would like towards the end of life, then it's very difficult to actually do that part. So sometimes your condition, it might just progress so quickly that you might not be able to tell your family members that this is what I would like towards at the end of my life. So we would support them with anything that they might have agreed with their family members, but it's having that conversation with your family members. If this happens, I would like this. If that happens, can you support me with this? And we are so lucky at Loros that we've got really good contacts with religious organizations. We've got a great chaplaincy department as well. So if somebody is at the end of their life, we will make sure priests or somebody from the mosque or whichever community they belong to, they are there. We have arranged services there in their rooms, and sometimes some weddings have also taken place before their death because that was important to them. So we look at each individual, what's more important to them. Somebody wanted to see their horses before they die, so we brought those horses to them at Loros. So anything that is going to give you that feeling of contentment and peace, we will make sure that we do that. And absolutely, Abdi, if they want the prayers and they want prayers by somebody within their community, we will make sure that's arranged for them in time.
gabri waxay tiri waxaan weydiinaynay waxay ahayd si aan u ogaano khidmadan ama adeegan wuxuu yahay. Waxay sheegtay khidmadan ama adeegan inuu yahay gacan ku samays ciddii dhaqan gaar ah leh ama macnaha caqiido gaar ah leh, in sida ay markay ay dhimanaysa ay u jeceshahay inay u dhimato in looga dhigaya wixii diinteeda iyo dhaqankeeda waafaqsan. Sheekada waxaa waaye in dadka laga yareeya, kuwa nool iyo kuwa dhimanayaba, in laga yareeya culayska ay geerida inta badan keenta. Qof baa kuu jooga ama waalidkaa baa kula jooga oo aad la nooshahay, wuxuu xanuunsaday xanuun oo zaa'id ah oo la garanaya xitaa waqtigu dhintay ama inuu sii socdo la tuhunsan yahay. Iyaga marka khidmada ay ka caawinayaan ama adeeg ay ka caawinayaan waxaa waaye in ay maalmaha soo haray qofkan ay adeegiisii caafimaadka, in xanuunkii laga yareeya, in wax alla wuxuu u baahdo, hadday tahay in yaasiin la saaro, hadday tahay in taqliin loo qabto oo shahaadada loo qabto, wixii oo idilna isku aadiyaan oo markuu qofkii waqtigiisa geerida ay gaarta wadaad loogu yeera, sheekh masaajidka looga yeera, uu yaasiinkii ku akhriya oo taqliintii laa ilaaha illa allah maxamed rasuul u qabto, ama adigaba haddaad ehelkiisi tahay aad la joogto. Marka khidmad noocaas oo kale ayay warbixinteeda aruurinaya. Haddaad muslim tahay waxaad u baahan tahay muxuu yahay. Taas macnaha arrinkaasay sheegtay oo ah ilaa haddadan waxay joogaan marxaladii war ururiska iyo xog ururiska oo ah cid walba waxay rabta inay sheegta si hadafka guud ee meesha laga leeyahay. Ulajeedka waxaa waaye in dadka culayska ay geerida keenta laga yareeya, kan laga dhimanaya iyo kan dhimanayaba.
Okay, we have been joined by a special guest as well, Hashim Dwale. I'm going to bring him on air as well. Can you hear us, Hashim? Hashim, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes, please talk.
runtii horta aad baan idinka mahad celinayaa. Programkan aad buu u fiican yahay oo Soomaalida aad buu u anfacayaa. Waxaanan uga mahad celinayaa Abdirashid iyo programkan sidaad u wadaan. Iga ogolaada oo Abdirashid baa ii afcelin doona af Soomaaliga aan ku hadli doonaa maanta. Loros inaan u mahad celiyo waa program aad loogu baahnaa oo aad runtii Soomaalida oo dhan idinka mahad celinayso. Waxaan ku boorinayaa dadka dhageysanaya inay la soo xiriiraan san aniga oo la soo xiriiray. Su'aasha aniga u qabo gabadha maadaama aan banaanka joogo, waxaan rabay inaan turbadiiba su'aashayda weydiiyo. Su'aasha waxay tahay haddii dadku dhaqankooda ay tahay inay diimahooda iyo arrimahaas ku saabsan, haddaan qofka la keeno meeshii hospice-ka, arrimahaas ma tixgelinayaan hadhowtii Loros inta qofka uu joogo?
And Hashim decided to speak in Somali so that I translate. And first he's so thankful. He says this is service that was required, so needful. It came at the right time. We are so thankful for it. He says the Somali community needed this and need this, and they need to participate in it. Anybody listening to us right now should contribute and ask his question. The question he's asking is how far, or how far is this this idea of respecting the person's belief, and when somebody comes as a patient to you, Loros, how far do you respect their personal belief, or is it something for generality or for all the communities done in the same way? I think that is the question he was asking.
Okay. I will say that it doesn't matter which community anybody comes from, we treat them as an individual. So if you, I mean, from say both of you might be from like similar background, say Somali background,
okay,
but we will treat you both individual, having maybe different point of view. So we will ask you what you would like, and we will make sure our services tailor-made around your needs. Not
okay, so it is more
even in some ethnic minorities, you think everybody would like this, or community thinks this way, that way. We don't do that. So we sort of think we work with the family and the individual, how you would want us to respect your wishes. So if we don't have that trust between us, then you're not going to be open and tell us things the way you would like. So we want you to be open, honest, and say as it is. I mean, there may be some things that might be some difficulty arranging some things, but together we can get there, and we will make sure everything is put in place, which is reasonable.
Hashim, waadna maqashaa u malaynaya haddaan dadka kale ku maqlayay sheekada waxay ku xiran tahay qoyska iyo qofka xanuunsan loo khidmeynaya iyo qoysku ka soo jeeda. Qoyskaas ayaa sheegan kara wax alla waxa uu qofkan dhamaashada noloshiisa iyo geerida hurweytiga ah markay timaada waxa u dambeeya oo uu rabo in loo qabto qofka ayaa sheegaya. Qofkaas ay ku xiran tahay iyo reerku ka soo jeeda. Wax alla wixii iimaan ama caqiida ah ama dhaqan ah oo iyagaas in la ixtiraamo ay rabaanna waa la ixtiraamaya.
Okay, so
sorry, Vijay, I was just going to say that because of COVID, a lot of things have changed. But moving forward, things will start to relax some of the restrictions and so on. If there are individuals or groups who might like to just come and have a look around at Loros, when that is available, we can arrange that so that you can go and ask questions and you can see the place for yourself and see how we look after patients who come and stay there, and other therapies and other things that we provide. So it just gives everybody a better idea how we work.
And Gabri waxay tiri hadda markii magaalada la furfuro oo arrimaha COVID-ka iyo xanibaadiisa ayaa waxay keentay dhib fara badan. Dhibkii hore hadda magaalada furfurmaysa, meelaha markii la furo waxaan jeclaan lahayn inaan ku soo dhaweyno dadka inay imaadaan meesha iyada ah Loros meeshooda, inay imaadaan ay soo arkaan xarunta ay soo arkaan iyo wixii yaala iyo siday u taala si ay iyaga indhahood ugu qancaan. Ishafalatay si toos amana.
Okay, so yes, Abdirashid, this is great because I think the conversation, this is a great way of, it's a conversation starter.
Yeah.
The more we have these conversation starters, I think it's better to have within communities.
Yeah.
I think us as EAVA FM, we are EAVA FM, Abdirashid, we've been working hard within communities to start conversation starters, and having someone from Loros is fantastic to come and talk about these subjects. We've got the people that are part of this in day-to-day life all the time, that this is what they do for a profession, helping communities. And I think being now even more so now, as Gurpreet said, with COVID-19 around, we've seen a lot of people, loved ones go away. There's been a lot of people that have gone too soon, shall I say the least. And I think that's why I think having the conversation now is not any easier to talk about end of life of anybody right now, but we've had to do it a lot more often in recent times, especially during these uncertain times. Do you know what I mean, Abdi? And what would you
and one thing, and people of faith normally, and it's not, death is not seen as end of everything. It's seen as a transition to another life. So it is not because of the faith, and the whole idea of the faith to make it less painful.
Yes.
So once you know you are transcending to another level of life, afterlife, you're going to afterlife. It's not treated with a lot of sorrow and especially the East African communities. It's not a lot of. It's not that gloomy thing. It's not seen as that gloomy thing, because that is why what is very important is that time the person is dying. The prayer you pray for them, the prayer you pray with them, the recitals you recite with them. Those are the most important thing. And I think this is one subject people can because of the situation of UK and how busy people are and how small houses are and how the whole life is jammed up the way it is. I think this is a breather of a sort, where a person can say, at the end of my life, I want to be taken here, to be taken care of, and this and this and this and this is what I want, and they will be, if that will be respected, I think it is something great.
And definitely. I just want
to say, sorry.
Okay. So I was just going to say, Abdi, yeah, absolutely fantastic what you're saying there. And I think the whole idea of getting support from wherever it is to support end of life is amazing. And I don't just think in UK, I think all over the world, but yeah, Gurpreet, I'm going to bring you back on if you want to say a few words.
I just wanted to say, like some people choose to be at Loros, but some people go to Loros, but they want to maybe spend the last few days, hours, whatever, at home as well. So if they feel comfortable, they want to be around their family members and they want to go home, that can also be arranged. Our nurses and other staff would be there to help them with that transition as well. Obviously, with hospice, we have a lot more expertise around, and families can stay with them day and night. We might have to look at some of the new, COVID-19 regulations and restrictions, but in the past, they were able to stay with them throughout. We were able to facilitate. But like I said, if some people want to go home or be somewhere else, that's also supported. It's that patient's choice, what they would like.
Yeah, let me interpret that for our listeners. Okay. And
just to stop you there, what languages are you into?
Somali now.
Somali.
Yeah.
Okay.
I forgot about the Swahili completely. I don't know.
No, this is Somali throughout the start.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
And waxa ugu muhiimsan oo inaad fahanto waxay tahay qofka rabitaankiisa ku xiran tahay. Iyo inta laga caawin kara. Qofka xanuunsan ama loo malaynayo inuu sii socdo. Hadduu dhaho guriga haligu celiya, guriga aan ku dhinta, iyada nafteeda waa loo yeelayaa. Hadduu rabo inuu meesha iyada jooga oo wadaad loogu yeera oo loogu duceeyo oo yaasiinka lagu akhriya oo halka uu joogana wuu joogayaa. Hadduu rabo inay ehelkiisa iyo ilmihiisa iyo dadkii la dhashay ay la joogaanna way la joogi karaan oo meesha ugu imaan karaan. Yeah,
okay. No, this is perfect. I think Somali is the language of choice that we are at EAVA FM.
Okay.
I know this is a huge community within Leicester, so Somali is absolutely fine. Remember, we can also share this video once it is finished and it's on air. We can we'll definitely be sharing this around. Okay, I'm going to be moving on. I'm conscious of time. We've got just over 3 o'clock. I think that's when our next commercial starts. So So in terms of Gurpreet, what will you do with the findings in terms of when the findings are put together? Are we going to be giving this to health professions? Is this going to be taken on board by NHS? Because it's all good listening to our communities on a regular basis. We are breaking down barriers and we always do this. But what's going to happen at the end of it? What is going to happen? Because my question is always challenging. I'm always challenging all services within Leicester, and not so much Loris, but the NHS as well. Is there going to be training given to doctors or nurses or NHS? Can you tell us a little bit about what's going to happen next? Okay.
Yes, absolutely. The findings will be shared with the communities as well. We will go back, and sometimes when you go back and you mention something, we might actually pick up something extra, something new as well. So it'll be given back to the community what we found out. And secondly, absolutely, it will be used for training, ongoing training support. So we will be modifying it as we keep on sort of rolling out the programs. And we are also working on some stories of patients, sort of like a case study. So people will be able to read or listen to a story of a patient, expressing how they feel or what they've been going through. So from there will be more conversations. What people might think, oh, you could have done this or they could have done that. So there will be dialogue. So that would be part of the training as well. So I think the aim is learning from the community. We want to be working with the community and then training our healthcare professionals, NHS staff as well, rolling out. Well, obviously, it will be with Loris initially, and then it will be working with all healthcare professionals, and hoping that people have a better understanding about providing this service, end of life care, in a more dignified and to that patient-centered way.
xogta ugu weyn oon u baahannahay ayay tiri waxaa waaye in aan xogta hadda helna dhaqamada kala duwan inaan ka helno wixii guud ay maaragtay tolka isaga ah ee laga hadlayo markaas ama xogta laga ururinayo u baahan yahay markaa kadib ayaan xogtaasaan u adeegsan doonaa inaan dadkii aan ku train garayno ku laylilno ku waxbarno dhaqaatiirtii iyo dadkii caawiyayaasha kaalkaalayaashii dadka caawin lahaa macluumaadkaasaan ayaan ka dharjinaynaa sidaasay dadka ugu khidmayn doonaan marka haddadan meeshay maraysa waxaa waaye in laga soo qayb gala wax lagu darsada lala wixii waa khidmo loo baahan yahay waa adeeg loo baahan yahay soomaalida inay kasoo qayb gasha ay macnaha afkaartooda ka dhiibata wadaadada iyo culamo udiinka ay kasoo qayb qaataan qofka haddii uu u baahdo in uu macnaha geeridiisa ay tahay inuu ku geeriyo xaalku rabo inuu ku geeriyoodo sida muslimiinta aan u naqaano ama dhaqan ahaan aan u leenahay inay macluumaadka hadda keenaan oo Loros ka dharjiyaan.
Okay. Thank you, Abdi. There. So this is for me. This is why we created a station like EAVA FM. Want to shout out all the founder of EAVA FM for actually getting this message, helping us to get this message out there. Okay, I'm moving on swiftly. I'm going to ask. Do you know, Gurpreet, have you seen any ways the studies already starting to make a difference within communities? How has it been within communities so far? You know, is it making the study making a difference?
Yes, I think people are actually talking about it a little bit more. They're expressing their views a little bit more. And it's just, with the communities and the society, there is always change. So if we've spoken to some groups, we need to go back to them because they may have new members. So we need to understand what is more important. And the other thing is with COVID as well, we need to go back and talk to people because so many things have been changed and the way people perceive some of the things and how they might like to, sort of arrange to do things for their loved ones, and expressing that and coming back to us and making sure that we are on board with all those things as well. And we want more people involved and telling us about some of the barriers that they might have encountered, so we can break all those barriers down and work with them to engage with them.
waxay leedahay waxaan ku jirnaa macnaha tiisan hor u sheegayba wada hadalkii horaan ku jirnaa waxa aan raadinayna waxay tahay in aan ogaana baahida dadka waxa ay u baahan yihiin si wada hadalka aan ku gaarna inaan kaga gudubna waxyaalaha kala xirxiraya macnaha shaqada ay Loros haysa iyo ummadda loo khidmeynaya adeega ay Loros haysa iyo ummadda loo khidmeynaya ama loo adeegaya waxa in ay saa isu fahmaan ay noqoto wixii la sheegay wax ugu dambeyntii qofkay ku xiran tahay laakiin qofba hadduu macnaha tol ka soo jeeda ama ummad ka soo jeeda ummadaas si ay u jeceshahay ama ay u aaminsan tahay geerideeda inay u dhacdaa jirta sida iyada ah ayay ururinayaan xogta iyo wixii khidmo oo dadka la siin kara marka waxa anaga nagala rabo hadda waxa waaye shacab ahaan dadka af Soomaaliga ku hadla inaan ka qayb qaadanna aan ra'yigeena ka dhiibanna kulli qof oo u baahan ama u baahan doona waa jira marka inay ummadda saa u ogaata.
Okay, so, and finally, is there any final words? Is there anything else you want to tell the people out there? And really, what do you want them to do next? Or what do you want to do next? And where is this project going next? Really, that's just the final kind of words there.
Well, first of all, I just want to say thank you to EAVA FM for having us on board for the whole week. It's been really great listening to all your programs and the coverage. And it is really positive that people are coming forward and they want to talk about it. We want to know as many, we want to talk to as many people as possible. So if you've got any groups listening to us, can they, through you, contact us? And any individuals who might be willing to speak to us, we want to understand if they have found any difficulties before, how can we make it better for them, how you can access services provided by Loros and end-of-life care, and some of the, there might be better ways of talking about death and end-of-life. If you think you have people who may have expert knowledge or they feel that they might want to contribute, I think that would be great. And then we will then come to the community. We will go and talk to them in depth and record all our conversations and bring it back to the training so that we can then roll it out to everybody who's involved in their care, including other healthcare professionals.
soo gaabin waxa ay tiri gabadha waxa waaye haddii ay jiraan dad warkan dhageysanaya oo hadda naga war helay inay nagala soo xiriiraan oo xitaa ay noo soo mari karaan EAVA FM ay noo soo mari karaan inay nala soo xiriiraan waxay nala qaban karaan iyo waxaan la qaban karnaa culeysyada dadka haysta markii la dhaho macnaha geerida culeysyada dadka ka haysta qofka dhimanaya iyo qofka laga dhimanayaba culeysyada dadka ka haysta qorsho idil wuxuu marka ama milay ku fulkano idil wuxuu ku dhisan yahay in culeysyada ummadda dadkana laga yareeyo qofka dhimanayana laga yareeyo oo xanuunka laga yareeyo marka wada hadalkii baa lagu jiraa ka soo qayb gala nagala soo qayb gala hadalka dulucda hadalka waa intaas.
Okay. No, thank you so much, Gurpreet, for joining us today. It's been fantastic having you on the show today. Really good, really positive. I think the messages coming in and Hashim joining us, I hope you really enjoyed your time with us today.
Thank you very much. No, this is what we need. We need to be working together and, give a better service. Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right. Enjoy the rest of your weekend and thanks. And hopefully we can do some more work around this.
Definitely. Thank you. Have a good weekend as well. Thank you.
So yes, Abdi, we've got one couple of minutes more left.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Okay.
Oh, dear me. Okay. Yeah. So finally, how do you think this is an important subject for us?
And it is a human it is a community, it's a need, a thing that the society or the community needs. And talking about the social needs or the communal needs, and discussing with the community and opening up the dialogue and the discussion, I think that is the most important thing a radio station or a media station can do.
Absolutely. So we are now going on a commercial break. Do you want to say any few words in Somali for the last 30 seconds?
waxa waaye qorshe milay ku fulkan in laga qayb gala ama dalka la degan yahay wax lagu darsada khidmooyinka iyo adeegyada ka baxana la ogaado oo sida adiga aad rabto aad u tolota inta la rabo intaas.
Okay, so we are coming off our live stream as well, but carry on joining us on the East African show with Abdirashid straight after these commercials. We will come back, but thank you so much for all the people that have been tuned in right now. We'll give them a wave in the camera and say see you later. Okay, bye.
Bye.